What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are doing another experiment on Madden 22, one that you guys probably should have seen coming, and that is which team should/will sign Odell Beckham. Now, this is only going to be a 3-team experiment, and there might not even be all the teams you would expect. There should at least be one on there, but there might not be all the teams you expect, of course, here. Oh, is it the Raiders? Oh, is it the Seahawks? Well, top right tells you, but first team is going to be the Raiders. There is a case for pretty much all 32 teams. You know, he wants to join a winning environment, but at the end of the day, let's say the Saints. They want him. They literally have league minimum. Is Odell going to play for the Saints on league minimum with, even at best case scenario, Jameis Winston at the starting quarterback spot? I don't know. If Jacksonville is willing to pay him $14 million just to bring him on, would he join them? Perhaps. Could he join the Steelers to get back at the Browns? Maybe. Would the Lions offer a huge contract to try and keep him there long-term next year? I don't know. At the end of the day, it could literally be anyone. I think the Raiders are a very top-tier landing spot for him, a team that obviously is in playoff contention. You know, a little bit worrisome with the overall vibe going on over there. Probably not good for a type like Odell Beckham, a distraction, as you call him, to go to Las Vegas, but a team that is obviously in need of wide receiver. They signed Deshaun Jackson to be one of their wide receivers, but does Deshaun Jackson go in being the number one? Because with the current wide receiver situation in Las Vegas, that's basically what he is. Bryan Edwards has barely played. Hunter Renfrow, he's a slot receiver. That's pretty much it, even though he is basically their best wide receiver on the roster. Odell Beckham instantly becomes the number one. He plays with one of the better quarterbacks, at least this season, that he's played with in his entire career. A team that obviously has a lot of potential and a defense that seems to be getting better every week. Obviously, a guy like Max Crosby's crushing it. But technically a contender, maybe not as much of a contender as he is looking for, but I think it's one of the top fits, in my opinion. And with probably the biggest need across the entire league with all the things going on legality-wise, we're going to be simulating, and we're going to see if it's a good decision. I should have probably had them force win. Oh, it's not too late. And just like it's not too late, even though the Ravens, fair enough, we'll just have them automatically beat the Ravens later. It's not that big of a deal. Where the hell are they? Wait, am I actually feeling okay? Wait, this isn't on me. Oh, they're not rivals. My brain. Oh, my Lord. I was about to say... Never mind. I don't know why I thought they were rivals, but I was about to say it's not too late for you to subscribe to the channel, but honestly, with this brain issue, yeah, maybe it is. I might pass by the end of the night. That's not a funny joke. It's not a joke, but Jesus, that was awful. But it doesn't really matter who they win against. We're just going to give them an extra win that, they aren't projected to win. They lost to the Bears. Guess what happens this time? They won. I have no idea why my brain thought that the Ravens were in their division. I don't know, but of course, the Odell in real life not having a great season. Raiders finish 11-6. Obviously would be happy with that decision, I would assume. But obviously Odell not having a great season in real life, but I wouldn't have been able to do what I needed to do if I would have used active rosters, so I just had pre-existing on, and then, we're just going to give him the whole season. So basically, he's going to be, kind of juiced here. However, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the... Oh my God, he still sucks. Full season, fresh start as the number one, and he still sucks. Deshaun has 1,000 total receiving yards. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you can kind of just average it out, right? Like, just remove 7 games worth of, whatever. Divide it by, 17, and then remove 7. Whatever. It doesn't matter. All that matters is where each team finishes and how much of a factor he had. But, of course, his season, definitely not good here, despite the fact that, Derek Carr had a pretty good season, and, Josh Jacobs picked it up, who's, not crazy great right now in the regular season. He's playing all right, but maybe not as great as we would have expected. But let's see it going up against one of the division rivals he had to face against in his short time in Cleveland, and a bit of a yikes. Now, the extra thing that goes on top of this is, will he resign? That's what I'm kind of curious to see. So, 30-19 against the Bengals, the winner of that one, clear cut. be really sad for him if the Browns actually go on and do something crazy. But 5 for 84, he actually had a really good postseason game. At least he got to the postseason, I suppose. That's something. But let's take a look at who wins the Super Bowl here. If it's the Browns, which would be very harmful to his mental health, I'd imagine. And it's not. Okay, it's Baltimore and the Saints, which, both are potential teams. Once again, we talked about the Saints. Can they free some money up? They did a hell of a job in the offseason already. I can't imagine they can do much more to get even close to like what would seem to be probably like a $5 million contract if every team in the league had, $15 million to work with. I feel like that's a pretty fair contract for him, but I don't know. There's just so many teams. I wanted to narrow it down to 3 so the video wasn't 2.5 hours long of simulating Odell Beckham. But yeah, obviously you can see here that the Saints win the Super Bowl, which, nothing's out of the realm of possibilities this year for sure, more than ever. And then let's take a look if he re-signed or if he obviously is a free agent. And they did re-sign him, but it doesn't seem to be a re-signing. It seems to be a tag, which I got to be honest, I don't know if that bodes well for them. It bodes well for Odell, actually, but wait, what is that? Is that actually a tag? I'm so confused. It doesn't say, but I imagine it's a tag, but because the season technically isn't over, it's kind of saying like he has an extra year on the contract. Actually, I didn't think about that. Craptastic. I forgot I traded him on all of these and didn't release him, so okay. Well, let's just assume they would probably re-sign him because they're desperate. Although he didn't play well, so, I don't think it really matters here, honestly. And now here we are with Team 2 of 3, another winning environment in Baltimore. Of course, a team that has desperately been looking for a wide receiver. I will say Marquise Brown has done really well this season. Mark Andrews, as usual. And then Lamar Jackson has done pretty well with what he's got. Odell being here should be happy because he gets a direct chance to face against the Browns. They're not rivals of the Raiders, if you guys were wondering. And he gets to play with Lamar Jackson, of course. A team that is missing a bit, but adding a guy like Odell with their offense might be enough to carry them all the way. Once again, the AFC side, there's no real true front-runner. In the NFC, there's maybe a few, but even them, it's almost any given Sunday this season, it seems. I think this is a pretty good fit, and Baltimore's got just enough money to probably make it, better than a Saints offer, which, once again, like I said, I don't know who's going to go there. I just kind of went with teams that are realistic and teams that I think should, or, once again, may go for them. And here we are, headed to the playoffs, and Baltimore also goes 11-6, does not win their division, so they have an away game here. Of course, using the Ravens playbook, so passing might not be the best. But overall, if you're Odell Beckham, you might not care. You just kind of care about winning. Here, though, basically the same. Again, I didn't look at the yards per catch, but ultimately, under 1,000 yards yet again. I put him in the starting role for both of the games. Not both of the games, but both of the sims. And both times, he kind of underwhelms. It's a full season's worth. In real life, it seems like he has a better chance of getting to these numbers than he does in sim. And he only has 200 yards right now. It's kind of doable if he joins the right squad, especially if they really need him. But obviously not really great at all. But once again, 11-6. The main goal for him is to try and boost his value and potentially win a ring. And he joins the Ravens, who also lose in the first game of sim. We also did change his contract to be a 1 year, so they either re-signed him already, are going to re-sign him, or he's going to be gone. Lamar Jackson underperformed. You best believe we'd be seeing some talk from Odell about how Lamar Jackson's just a running back and he's not good. Did get a touchdown, but overall, Lamar did not play well, and it's always the last game, unless it's a Super Bowl win that everyone talks about. Well, I suppose Super Bowl win they'd be talking about as well, but in a good light. And I can't imagine Odell would be able to close his mouth about that one, and kind of rightfully so, as the Browns versus the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, two teams that actually could be destinations for him as well, and the Browns win. Would that hurt really much so? Obviously. It's pretty obvious, but yikes. That's a bit of a yikes. Of course, regression, I think, is still on, so probably drop down a star again, because once again, not a great performance at all. And on top of it, I'd imagine EA's sim is pretty bad anyways for that. It seems like regressions always were really bad. I remember getting like 20 picks in a season, and my middle linebacker would go down. And Odell did keep superstar here, and he got a contract. I don't know how many years, probably 4. That's my guess. It's a 4-year deal, and it appears so. A 4-year deal worth, I don't even know, like 50 mil maybe? I mean, all right, they've got him long-term, I suppose. So as far as money-wise goes, Odell wins there. As far as playoffs go, not so much. And then for the team you guys probably all knew was going to be on here, the Packers, his number one destination. But in my personal opinion, I wouldn't even put him in the top 5 for projections. I just don't see it happening. Green Bay has always been a team, even though ironically enough, with stuff with Rodgers this season, have always been a team to shy away from controversy and, distractions and all that. And that's kind of exactly what Odell does, is distract people. Of course, joining an elite quarterback, joining a team where he wouldn't have to be the number one. You can argue that the other 2 teams he might, especially the Raiders, obviously, he might, but you have great tight ends on both sides, obviously. This Packers team is definitely lacking talent. I don't know where delusional Packers fans get off saying, oh, look at him joining an already stacked receiver room. It's like, unless you're counting Jones, who really doesn't even get involved in the receiving game that much at all, I don't know what you're seeing here. Obviously Devontae, but 78 overall normal, 74 overall normal, 68, 60. Honestly, with Amari Rodgers' special teams alone, he could be a 50 overall. Receiving ability, twitchiness, 58 overall maybe. It is not a good receiving room at all. I mean, you also lose Robert Tonyan. Mercedes loses probably like the second most talented tight receiver on the team. I will say, Cobb has come up with some pretty good plays. He's actually done really well. And I think him joining Green Bay proves that it does matter the scheme/team. Houston, he looked awful pretty much. And here in Green Bay, he's kind of looking like his old self a little bit. But Odell Beckham elevates this team so much higher. This team's offensive line sucks. There's no doubt about it. David Bakhtiari, maybe he'll come back sometime soon. Who knows? But the offensive line is awful, obviously. And getting a guy that can actually run routes, which outside of Devontae, I don't know if Green Bay has those guys. I know Cobb could run routes, but he's kind of slow now, and he's older, and he's not that big either. Odell still has a decent bit of twitchiness, still one of the twitchiest guys in the league, in my opinion, and very, very fast still for his, he's only 29, 30, whatever, but definitely would take off the pressure of the offensive line. You can't just get away with doubling Devontae and pressing the rest. Like, you literally just press the Packers, GG. The Packers can't do anything. You press them, and it's over. But with Odell and Devontae, you can't double both, obviously. One of them's going to win their route. Simply put, I still think Odell is a very good wide receiver, and I think he still has great route running, obviously. And his effort's still there. I don't know if people have been saying his effort's been not there, but it has, even for Cleveland. And obviously, if he joins a new team trying to get another contract or whatever, maybe a ring, I think it's pretty obvious that the effort will be even higher. Talked a little bit about the Packers here, but it is what it is. Defense, we don't talk about the corners around here. Stokes, he's played okay. Him being healthy makes him one of the best corners on this team, which isn't really saying much. Rashawn Gary has actually had a really good year. Preston's been meh. Campbell should be probably higher overall. Barnes should be a high overall just for run stopping. Obviously, he's not great in coverage, but overall, if you can get Jair back, which I don't know, that it's been like a huge mystery with him needing surgery, him not needing surgery, this is easily the team to beat if you add Odell Beckham. And the Packers finish 13-4. The rest of the division not looking super great. I don't have a horse in the race because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything to me. I would love for, I don't know if I would love for Odell to come here. I would love a talent like Odell to come here, but him himself, I don't know. It would be cool. Would sell jerseys, and I would definitely get one. But, just saying. Aaron Rodgers obviously not going to have this numbers because, didn't really play as well as the sim numbers are suggesting. He's been very accurate. He's been very safe with the ball. I don't think he's having gunslinger season. Honestly, Aaron Jones, not bad. 3 guys at 1,000 yards receiving. That's just not happening, but cool. Odell Beckham with the best season of his own of the 3. 11-20 for yards, 11 touchdowns, all while not being the number one target, which is pretty impressive. I don't think yearly awards matters, but, I mean, here we are. Rodgers at number 3. Lamar Jackson playing much better in this sim without Odell. I don't know if that means anything, but, I mean, I suppose the Browns have kind of won more games with him, without him than they have with him, so fair enough. 13-4, though. Not good enough for the number 1 seed, because Dallas is 15-2. Fair enough, I suppose. But let's take a look at if any team is going to pass the first round or not, and they don't. So the 3 teams here, it doesn't seem to matter. Of course, it is Seattle, so Green Bay is pretty much destined to lose that anyways. No matter what team he joins of these 3, based on Madden, he's not going to a Super Bowl. He's not even coming close. Odell, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. I suppose by performance-wise, joining Green Bay helps him the most for getting another contract. Will he get one here? We're about to find out. Let's be honest. I don't think anyone is. Rodgers going to be gone. Devontae's going to be gone. Odell's probably going to be gone. And once again, just for Odell's sanity's sake, Cleveland wins a 2nd Super Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think he demanded a trade. I think they just released him. Maybe they both agreed. I don't know, but let's take a look at what happens to him, if he's going to be a free agent or not, if it ever gets to it. Let's see it. -7 mil. They can't have kept him, right? Well, oh, how? What? Okay, so this is some weird, like, craziness. You, at minimum, are losing Cobb. I'm sorry, Rodgers. If you want to keep these 2, you got to lose Cobb. Somehow they keep Devontae and Odell. I'm not quite sure. And they have Preston. They have Za'Darius. Or do they have to still re-sign? I'm confused. They must have to still re-sign it. They just didn't get to any of those names. Like, surely they can't afford everyone, right? I might have gotten off to an early jump. You can see there's a lot of players off the squad. They have to be gone. Rodgers still there. And yeah, they're all there they go. That looks a little more like what this Packers team's going to look like next year minus Rodgers. I will say Preston and Za'Darius, I believe, can both be released, which I think is kind of what the Green Bay set up with their contracts to try and get Devontae and Rodgers back, I would imagine. But overall, we do see that Odell is gone. Let's see where he goes. Maybe Devontae joins him. It'd be very unlikely, considering those 2 numbers are probably really huge. But let's take a look. Devontae signed with the Bengals, and Odell signed with the rival Bears. I don't know if he's trying to get back at the Packers now. Man's just got a vendetta against every team that, had a division rival with the team he played. But on the Bears, fair enough. So, based on those 3 teams, technically joining the Packers helped him the most, but overall, he could not secure a deep playoff run at all. He got to the playoffs with all 3, so fair enough if that's the goal, but that's basically it. Obviously, there's so many other teams that have a case. You make a case for so many different squads. The real question is, what is the true intention of Odell? Is it to extend his career by playing on a team that's just going to be good for him? Is it just winning a ring? Is it? I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what he's willing to accept. That's the biggest factor. It's not really what team. Well, I guess it is what team wants him, because obviously, he's a distraction. There's no doubt about it. But overall, what team? What is he willing to accept? Honestly, because there's so many different teams that could pay him more money than these minimum kind of deals that the top tier teams are going to pay. But is he willing to accept? That's the question. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. And that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for streams. And that is about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video, which will be a Raiders episode a little bit later. But until next video,